Like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have terrible luck for the next week.
Wolves are cautious animals that generally avoid contact with humans. Better put, they're not interested in us and don't even classify us as prey. There's only a handful of cases where this animal attacks humans to feed on them, and scientists describe the situation as an extreme exception. While all these may sound good on paper, this creature can become problematic and uncontrollable, which is why they're best fit for the wild. If you saw a friend breeding them at home, the chances are that you love them at first sight and want to try it out. Whether or not you should have them as pets is your call to make. If you're also wondering why nobody has wolves as pets, you should keep watching. Do wolves make a good pet? I'll tell you a story and leave you to judge. If you want your chairs, bed, shoes, and every valuable you own to remain intact, don't keep a wolf as your pet. This advice is from Connie and Rudy Koskinen, a couple who had a full-blooded wolf named Lincoln. The animal weighs 130 pounds and stands at 6 feet on its hind legs. They got Lincoln from a colleague at work. She was supposed to live with them for only a few days, but, well, it turned out to be a lifetime visit. She came as a puppy, and like most wolf puppies, she did not see or hear early. Since wolves are social, they made their 3 dogs play with Lincoln, and they bonded pretty well. As the wolf grew, they found him fun as with most puppies, but when he reached sexual maturity, they experienced a host of problems that made them regret why they got the animal in the first place. Connie is always around Lincoln, but Rudy doesn't get too close because the animal became too aggressive towards males. He sees Rudy as a potential rival and a threat to his alpha male status. This was the same man that nurtured him to maturity. This wolf also loves to mark his territory by urinating. This means that the wolf urinates on the rag in the house. Living with an animal like Lincoln is a full-time commitment. It means you have to devote a considerable part of your time for caring for them. You need to forget the long trips and vacations as long as they're concerned. The Koskinen say they'll keep the animal as their pet regardless of how discomforting it is. They insisted they'll not give it away to someone else because they've created a bond with the animal. When asked if they regret their choice of pet, they replied in the affirmative. Rudy said he would not make the same mistake twice because their pet chews things up, is aggressive, and if you don't keep a close eye on him, he'll do the most unimaginable thing. Dr. Rob Connor of All Creatures Veterinary Hospital also agrees with the couple. In his submission, he advises against making any wild animal a pet regardless of how beautiful they look outside. Dogs and cats are bred to be domesticated, but wild animals remain aggressive no matter what. They belong to the forests and not in homes. Still, on Lincoln, he escaped from his enclosure one day, and Connor was called to help manage the situation. A Baxter deputy saw the animal and forced it into his patrol car. It was taken to the sheriff's office and pulled into a secured garage. When Connor arrived, the giant animal ran towards him and jumped on his body. He gave him a big old lick as though they were old-time friends. The veterinarian took the animal and put him in a small, tall kennel before going back to sleep. He came back the next day to ask his colleagues what they thought about the animal, but they didn't even notice any wolf to his amazement. Lincoln had escaped by scrabbling and twisting onto a shelf above the kennel. He then stepped on the frame carefully without knocking anything over or making any suspicious sound. He fled through the window and was free. Connor was shocked with how everything played out. He was sure that no animal would have escaped, but this wolf proved him wrong. It was an embodiment of strength, determination, and smartness. Since they're unpredictable, they don't make for good pets. Because they're athletic, their response mechanism varies from a dog, and there's barely any cage capable of holding them. One minute they're all groovy and licking your face, and in another split second, they're growling and ready to bite. Do you still want a wolf as a pet? Why are wolves forever wild, but dogs can be tamed? I've also wondered why dogs, which are similar to wolves, are a lot more calmer and heed to instructions than their cousins. By now, you already know that wolves are hard to train and will remain wild despite all your effort. Research has proven why puppies are trusting and loving, but their cousins are the direct opposite. Let's see how evolutionary biologist Catherine Lord of the University of Massachusetts put it. In her research, she discovered that wolf pups are blind and deaf when they begin to walk and explore their environment. It's hard to notice this except someone tells you, like I've done. They rely on smell to navigate the way during this period. When they start hearing, they become scared of sounds, and when they start seeing, they are afraid of visual stimuli. The more each sense engages, the more round of sensory shock they experience. Puppies do not undergo all of the stress. In contrast, they begin to walk and explore their environment only when all of the 3 senses of sight, smell, and hearing are activated. You're not scared of stimuli and even become suckers for adventure. This is why they can become jumpy all day long without getting tired. Wolves know that they have a big battle in front of them the day they were born. They learn to avoid threats and escape predators. Lord and her team concluded that after studying the response of 43 dogs and 7 wolf pups to a new smell, visual, and sound stimuli. At the gene level, the difference doesn't lie in the gene itself, but when it's turned on. Socializing a dog with a horse or lion takes only about 90 minutes, after which they become friends. To achieve the same success in a wolf pup, you need about 24 hours of contact. Even then, you wouldn't attain the same victory as you'll do for dogs. Debunking some wolf myths. So we've said a lot about this creature and how they don't make for excellent pets. While this is true, we should look on the bright side. In this section, we'll dissect some myths to clarify things further. Myth number 1. Wolves are dangerous to people. Judging by what you've heard, you feel that these creatures would sight you from afar and pounce on you. The truth is, wolves are afraid of people and avoid them, although they can be dangerous. Fatal incidents involving them are rare, and over the past 100 years, there are only a little above 2 incidents where they killed a human being. Myth 2. Wolves are killing all the deer and elk. Elks are wolves' primary predators in Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming, but they continue to grow in number. In fact, since the reintroduction of wolves in 1995, elk numbers have increased substantially. However, wolves have succeeded in making elks more alert to danger and more challenging to hunt. Myth 3. Wolves kill for sport. Wolves do not kill for sport, unlike humans. They only kill for survival and sustenance. The reality is that they are often chased from their kill when other predators approach them. Research revealed that they return to their food repeatedly, sometimes over months, until they eat the entire animal. Like other wild predators, they kill more than can be eaten, leading to the death of numerous prey. Therefore, they are guilty of surplus killing, which occurs more in late winter when survival is critical. Since nature isn't wasteful, other animals eat the remaining carcass from the kill. Myth 4. The wolves brought to the west are supersized and more aggressive than those before. Gray wolves weigh between 38 to 115 kilograms. The animal was and is the same as those living along the Canada-US border. Like all wildlife, they are unaware of all the invisible political boundaries.
Before we move on, I have a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. Just leave a like on the video, smash the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And you'll get 25 years of good luck. Try it. It really works.
How to make friends with wolves. No humans should try to become friends with wild wolves. Despite warnings from experts, people are constantly seeking a cordial relationship with a wild creature. As romantic as a friendship sounds, it is tantamount to a death sentence. Most times, it starts well, but ends in the animal being killed because it becomes a nuisance and highly aggressive. In instances when they're not killed, the human becomes its victim. Whether or not a friendship between you and a captive wolf would work depends on you and the animal. Most of them are selective of who they have a rapport with and would even reject their owners, whom they consider intimidating. They can be warm to strangers occasionally but may flare up at the slightest provocation. Here are some tips to befriend wolves. Don't wear hats or glasses. Many wolves do not like those accessories and would protest if they get advances from someone wearing them. The ones that like them would make frantic efforts to steal them from you. Become female. Call them womanizers if you want, but wolves love women more. Maybe it's because they're more petite, less threatening, or even more beautiful. That's why. There's no concrete evidence that proves this exceptional love, but it does exist. They'll bond more quickly with unfamiliar women than unfamiliar men. Please don't assume that you can pet them because they're near you. Wolves aren't dogs and would never be. The latter is tolerant and always seeking your attention. When you see them sitting lonely beside you, it could be an invitation to stroke their hair, pat their back, or even carry them. It's different for wolves. If a wolf wants you to touch it, it draws closer and rubs against you. It exposes its belly as an invitation that it needs to be pampered. If they don't show you the signs, don't try to touch them. You'll have yourself to blame. Be patient. It takes only a few days for a dog to be used to its new environment, after which they are jumpy and relate with everyone. For wolves, it takes weeks and even months. Don't move fiercely towards them. These creatures are sensitive and always ready to defend their territory. You don't expect them to smile at you if they consider you a threat. Move slowly and not directly towards them. It's better to ignore them than leave them curious about your next move. That's all we have for you today. Would you still love to have a wolf as a pet after reading the pros and cons? Please leave your response in the comment box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to stay updated with our amazing videos. Until another episode, sayonara!